Oh, hi, Peter MacDonald. I'm just getting ready to do some wrapping. I've got my scissors, tape, ribbon, boxes, and Christmas paper. And, oh, right, presents. You think it's too late to start Christmas shopping? Oh well. Before I get wrapped up in all that, let's get wrapped up in another chapter of The House of Wooden Santas by Kevin Major. 14 days to Christmas. For once, Jesse was looking forward to school. His mother bundled his costume into a bag, and with the help from his shepherd staff, he trudged his way through the snow to the bus stop. Jonathan met him as soon as he stepped off the bus. We've got to shovel every inch of snow before we can flood that rink again. We'll do it after school. Jesse headed to the payphone and dialed home to get his mother's permission. She said she would pick him up at Jonathan's house at 5 o'clock. During recess and lunch, the boys practiced their shepherd lines. And that afternoon at the dress rehearsal, they didn't miss a single one. Mr. O'Donnell was full of compliments. And your costumes are great, guys, and your staffs are terrific. He stuck his thumb in the air. You make a very convincing pair of shepherds. Wow. At the end of the school day, the boys were so pleased with themselves, they almost floated over the snow to Jonathan's house. They burst through the back door, proclaiming the exact words Mr. O'Donnell had spoken. They discovered Mr. Agnew in the living room, staring vacantly at the TV. He looked over at the boys, but didn't say a word. Even when Jonathan repeated all the great things Mr. O'Donnell had said, "Dad, you've got to see the concert," his father shook his head. He turned back to the TV. Jesse's eye caught a half-carved piece of wood cast aside on the coffee table. Later outside, the boys had little heart for shoveling. Jonathan sat on the snowbank and looked miserable. And I thought things were going to get better. Everything takes time, Jesse said. He needs to give it another try. What's the use? At 5 o'clock, after he and Jonathan had made another half-hearted attempt at shoveling, Jesse's mother drove up. As Jesse climbed into the car, Jonathan turned and headed inside without even saying goodbye. On their way home, Jesse told his mother the whole story. "What can we do?" he asked when they were in the house and sitting on the sofa. "I don't know. Jonathan's dad is a stubborn man. Sure doesn't sound like he's about to change." His mother was standing by the mantel next to the new Santa. Jesse hardly paid any attention. She held him up in her hands. "So," she said, "in the House of Wooden Santas." But Jesse had a lot more on his mind. "Maybe if we wish for it." "What?" "I've got it. Maybe instead of presents for Christmas, what we wished for was for Mr. Agnew to smarten up." Jesse's mother stared at him. "I don't know about that." "Sure, you're the one who said all that stuff about trust. You're the one who said you've got to search it out and hold on to it." "But this is a lot to ask." "Forget it then," he blurted. "Now, Jesse, you make up all those dumb stories about Santa Claus, and now you say there's nothing he can do?" "I didn't say that. And that proves he's not real." "I think he would help." "Okay, then prove it." There was a long period of silence when Jesse knew his mother was staring at him. He wouldn't look back. She laid Santa in his lap. Jesse wouldn't look at him or his mother. "In the House of the Wooden Santas, we gotta learn to get along. Not my fault. This old fella doesn't like it when we argue, especially over him." Jesse pressed his lips together. "He could be wish Santa." Yeah, right, Jessie muttered. You wish for what you want, and I'll wish for peace between us. What do you say? Jessie thought about it, but he didn't say anything. His mother wouldn't take her eyes off him. What have we got to lose? Jessie took Santa in his hands and held him out in front of them. Okay, Mr. Santa, I made a wish. What are you going to do about it? Until I see you again.